At a ceremony never before seen by the public, Charles III has been formally proclaimed king. More than 200 Privy Councillors, including the Prime Minister and 6 of her predecessors, attended the Accession Council at St James's Palace in London. King Charles said he would strive to follow the inspiring example set by his mother, Queen Elizabeth. The accession was marked by gun salutes across the UK and in overseas territories, and further parades and ceremonies in London. Canada has become the first Commonwealth realm to proclaim Charles as its sovereign. Our royal correspondent Jonny Dymond was watching the ceremony in London.
Amidst the grandeur of the state apartments of St James's Palace, an ancient ceremony opened for the first time to microphones and cameras. In the picture gallery, the clerk of the Privy Council made the first proclamation of the new king's reign.
By the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of his other realms and territories, King, head of the Commonwealth, defender of the faith, to whom we do acknowledge all faith and obedience with humble affection, beseeching God, by whom kings and queens do reign, to bless his majesty with long and happy years to reign over us.
Gathered in front of him, the Accession Council, the Prime Minister, former Prime Ministers, other senior politicians, retired and serving, the Archbishops of Canterbury and York, Prince William and the Queen Consort. Only the King was absent. Minutes later, in the throne room, the council gathered again. In came Prince William and the Queen Consort, and then the King. Nearly all wore black, those in ceremonial garb, black armbands on their sleeves. The King stood in front of a dark red throne decorated with the late Queen's cipher, the crown, and beneath it E2R. Formally confirmed as monarch, King Charles made his declaration. He spoke first of his mother's example of lifelong love and selfless service.
My mother's reign was unequalled in its duration, its dedication and its devotion. Even as we grieve, we give thanks for this most faithful life. I am deeply aware of this great inheritance and of the duties and heavy responsibilities of sovereignty which have now passed to me. In taking up these responsibilities, I shall strive to follow the inspiring example I have been set.
Outside in Friary Court, the King's Guard band and the Foot Guard formed up. Black busbies and scarlet tunics under light grey skies. On 3 sides, the courtyard is bounded by the brick walls of the palace. The 4th side was closed to passers-by this morning, but then just before the public proclamation began, a few hundred members of the public were allowed in to watch proceedings. Their T-shirts and raincoats, walking boots and trainers, a contrast to the ceremonial and mourning dress within the courtyard. On a balcony overlooking Friary Court, the Garter King of Arms in golden tunic read out the proclamation, his words echoing around the stonework.
With one voice and consent of tongue and heart, publish and proclaim that the Prince Charles Philip Arthur George is now, by the death of our late sovereign of happy memory, become our only lawful and rightful liege lord, Charles III.
The colours of the Foot Guard rested on the ground, draped in a mourning banner. And as the royal salute was heard, the crowd beyond, outgathered in the Mall, made their voices heard. The Foot Guard called out their support for King Charles, their heavy black busbies rising and falling in their hands with each cry.
3 cheers for His Majesty the King! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
And again the cheers of the crowds beyond were heard. This ancient ceremony of an ancient crown, the formal beginning of a new reign.